Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Oh,
It's been a couple weeks. Uh, Episode or session 66, which we will title after the stream. I didn't pre-title it. Before we jump in, let's get our recap from Kelly. You are our session last recapper, so let's remind all of us what happened last session.
You got it. It's rewind time. While the rest of the gang was getting to know more diplomats at dinner, Finn slipped out to talk one-on-one with his sister Em. He comes to find out that Em and Etram technically aren't engaged yet, and they are waiting on the approval of the Krumars. After a perfectly orchestrated wardrobe change, guests are welcome to explore the grounds of the Darlington estate. Mest and Bira bond with Mrs. Krumar and Willa in the gardens about Mute Point. The boys get sausagey over some very fancy cigars. The men of du jour show and tell some of their grand adventures with epic spells. The Duke may be proud of his son or just drunk. Brick plays some rounds of checkers with Jacob in the parlor that ends in finger pistols and a D's nuts joke. Brick's level of paranoia is rising as she is sure to catch a scandal, but only witnesses a cute, intimate dance between Emmeline and Etram. When the night finally settles down, DeJour gets some Z's with another dream sequence. Finn has a daunting wedding nightmare. Kieran has a magma-filled vision of his mom and Mystery Man dancing in the Darlington estate. Buttons finds himself at the Summer Solstice Festival asking Irvana to dance. Mest has a smutty wet dream about a hot orc man. It's canon that all orc men have two cocks. It's in the lore. Look it up. Brick is back in the desert having a quick draw with Jacob 1,000 acres away. Glint dreams of a new du jour with less familiar faces and magically duplicates 9 copies of a perfect coin. Then Paige drops the bomb of adding to Brick's dream. Brick looks up from her dress and finds herself in an unfamiliar desert with a burning red sky. A massive, monstrous army from the abyss are seen on the horizon, making their daunting approach, and Jacob morphs into a very creepy, hollow-eyed, misty demon and says, "It's a you." And that was last session.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Before we jump into our long rest, I think it's only fair that we have Victoria tell us what our sweet Vera dreamt of in the long night.
so I was thinking about it, and Vera actually had kind of a good dream. She was just skipping along, kind of a little experience. You would actually be skipping. He's walking along or skipping along a path in a field, following kind of this shadowy figure that she can't quite make out, and she keeps like trying to catch up, but she just can't quite get there. And she approaches a river, and where there used to be a bridge, as she watched the figure in front of her um, across, it's now gone. But it's her spirit, her spirit friend, whose name I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Um, uh, who's asking Vacriolora. There we go. It's across the river, and she's beckoning. Come, be with me. Visit me. Talk to me. I'm here, right here. Come over. And that's when Vera wakes up.
Hmm. So, bless you, Kelly. Um, as you've all awake, your first new morning at the proper of Zastasia, which is like the land itself that the Darlington family has lived on for several generations. You wake up in the manor, the sun warming through the window, the glass panes. Many of you feel very refreshed. Maybe some of you who've had less than comfy dreams, maybe not so much. But Rick, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Ha 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 ha.
What is going on here? Hello? Why doesn't it click anymore? Have I done something? Oh, no.
I clicked it, but if you hit the thing next to it, yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, sorry, I was on it, but for whatever reason it defaulted to my work profile. So it was treating it like a viewable page, but not like a playable page. So give me 1 second to reload it. Yeah, sorry.
You're good,
I
don't
had
worry.
it all prepped, I promise.
No, you're good, don't worry.
How close is Brick sleeping to me?
No.
I mean, that's a weird.
Absolutely not.
Guys, look
unless
at-
something, who is that?
It's Bruce
Unexpected?
Green. And Autumn, yeah.
Oh, that's huge. I was only gonna say, Glenn, unless something very drastically has changed in your relationship to Brick, you are not close enough to.
We're not like on a paper thin wall, one side or the other.
What a way to find out.
I think I've rolled my first nat 1 of
Wow.
nat 1 con save.
R.I.P.
Rick, you the dream I added to was something when you woke. I described you woke up at the last session from that dream. When you woke up, it was nighttime.
Yeah.
And so I imagine you had a hard time resettling back into bed.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. The thing that's weird is it wasn't just a one-off dream. You spent the entire night repeating that nightmare. The variations change. One time, the difference is like one time you'll see him out in the distance for your shootout and you're already running towards him and you don't get to him. The next time he's right by your side and your guns are pointed out to the horizon together. You keep having this nightmare, and it's every single time this approaching army is inevitable, and you wake up every time as they come to you when they meet you. One of the last times, bleary-eyed, exhausted from a night of really unsettling nightmares. Sorry, I have the weirdest music playing right now from this. I hate when that happens on Spotify. Damn it, Kevin MacLeod. Okay. One of the last times it happens, the sun has started to rise. And so the light is starting to hit into the room. And it's that moment where it's still dark, but there's like kind of like the light is just kind of, you can see that the room's lighter, but it's still dark. And you feel as if almost you can see that transformed, disturbing image of Jacob in the room. And then you like wipe your eyes away and this image is gone again. And the room is back to the way it was. Because of the failed Constitution saving throw, I am saying you have a level 1 exhaustion.
I mean, fair enough, my dude.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I found the original picture I was trying to show you guys last week. Remember the one I showed you that had the spear? And I was like, I had a different one. It wasn't one with the spear. This is how I was picturing the kind of like smoky, inky version of Jacob.
Oh no.
Oh no. Kayleen's
lost
screaming
Kayleen.
out too. Man. Me and Kayleen both, man.
So disadvantage on all skill checks.
I believe, yeah, with the level
I just double checked to make sure because I haven't.
It's been a while
with exhaustion. I mean, I don't play barbarians, and yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just saw who's actually listening to Sarah. You're listening to 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, man, that's what my picture. That's
My
what
mouse.
Oh,
Hovered over it.
That's what my picture is. It's a lead singer of 3 Doors Down.
That's a very old picture. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm going all in.
I love Kayleen's frozen picture.
I don't have a picture. I have just the loading.
Oh,
I have her
she's
sad
doing
face.
this.
She's like, yeah. What the good thing is, it's going to be immortalized on camera for our unlisted video, which is what's most important. Okay.
Okay.
So, Brick, I would say you would be the first one up.
Okay.
With that.
I imagine just based on, I don't think Brick panics, right? It's not really her MO. But I do imagine that as the party, and I guess we've separated the girls from the guys, right? Or like, no, we all have our own rooms.
You all have your own rooms.
Oh no, that's so upsetting. Okay, so the minute Brick would wake up and see this, like, maybe there, maybe not image of this distorted Jacob, she would, like, rub her eyes and, like, stand up ready for another round, another fight. And when her vision would settle, the heaviness of her lids would kind of flatten out and she'd go, okay, I'm awake. And seeing the time of day, she would pack up all of her things, make sure she's back in her regular travel clothes, and sitting with her stuff ready to go, waiting in the common room that connects our spaces, waiting for someone else to wake up.
Which of du jour would want to wake up next? You don't have to wake up one by one either.
I think Nest is a pretty early riser.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think anything about Glint's was an unusual dream. It might be one that he has occasionally.
Yeah, I would be up. I would go too.
Join me in the common room.
Everyone wakes up.
I think everyone wakes up and goes in at the same time, so we can have this conversation together.
We all sort of just immediately like, Rick's tired.
Rick needs us.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the what? Where are you going?
What is all this?
There is something, and for unlike the typical Brick where it's a bit jovial or like ambitious or there's definitely like a sternness, like there's a forward brow in her that maybe you've never really seen even when she is at her most serious. And shockingly, you see these unrested eyes, which is very odd for Brick. Like bloodshot, and kind of darty between all of you, like taking a second look over each of you before so looking over to the next one. There is something big coming. It is not just a dream, it cannot be. It is monstrous. Something I cannot defeat on my own.
Slow down. What happened?
I dreamt of me and Jacob out in the desert, and we were playing our bullet game, and then it was fun at first. And the first time I thought of it, I was happy. And by the end of it, something dark rose over the horizon. It was red. Not desert red, but something bigger. And I looked my eyes as close as I could, and I saw a line of an army coming my way. And there is a leader who is darkness. And he made Jacob transform into the darkness. And I tried to fight him time and time again, but it did nothing. This army is in front of us. I don't know how close. Each time I saw they were different. And you'll see Brick kind of sink in on herself. I do not know how to fight it.
Rick, what do you mean they were different?
The man?
The army, you said, or the man or the army?
They were not human. They were other. Something beyond man. He looked like a man, and he could talk like a man. But
Oh, he talked? What did he say?
He said, "It's me," as if he knew I knew who he was.
or that he is already here. Like he was putting his name to his face. But he had no name.
Did it look like the Nosrabosu we encountered?
Paige, he didn't look at anything like the No supposed to, right?
No, and um, I
I know
don't.
you put pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I pictured they all kind of looked amorphous, kind of like that image, that info image I just put in, where it's kind of
Yeah.
got the like speckled, like misty, kind of smoky look to them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get really specific with like a leader or how they looked, but yeah, definitely like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, monstrous, an army of demonic
Okay.
creatures. Yeah.
They had the shapes of man, but it was clear they were not men. Their eyes were glowing and they were complete darkness. Even Jacob. Finn, even Jacob turned into the darkness.
Paige, even like retrospectively, like with Brick's description of these creatures and like the vibe, is there anyone who was like maybe giving off that vibe last night?
Giving off what vibe?
Like spooky armor monster wearing human flesh vibes.
I don't think that came up. No, I don't think anyone's given off particular vibes. But we really weren't seeking those vibes out at dinner last night. So it's not necessarily that we can check anybody off if that's what we're trying to confirm.
Hey, Brick.
Hmm.
I know it was probably not your favorite place to be, but I can go inside your dream, and we can what?
That's I think we took that one. That was a custom dream I put on. I think it was supposed to be the one I think I took. I think, is it the dream one you're talking? I think I switched it.
No, I'm talking about the spell Dreamscape.
Yeah, that's the one I
Oh,
added
that's
on.
one of yours?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry. That's I didn't, when I wrote it originally, I was thinking about multiple classes, but I changed it. I apologize.
No, that's okay because I still have Dominate Dream.
Same thing. Those are both
I don't-
those.
Wait, Dominate Dream was one of yours? I thought that's one of. I thought that's a.
Yeah, sorry, do you remember all those months and moons ago where we had that mysterious spell book in the caves underneath the Sundrell?
Yeah.
They're all from that spell book, so I put them.
Okay.
I'm still learning how to tag them, and I didn't tag them right. I'm sorry.
No, totally fine. We're good on that thing. Then, zoop. Great. Okay. Kieran instead is going to ignore that. Yeah, ignore everything that just happened. Kieran is going to start pulling stuff out of his pack. And I'm sure there's like a table in the middle of this area, and I'm just gonna start pulling out like some small animal bones. And I want to cast augury as a ritual spell.
Cool.
Now, before I do so, I want to ask. So, and as I'm setting up the ones, like, so there's this tool that ancient druids use to sort of get a sense of the outcome of something. We're dealing with a lot of stuff, and we can ask a question and get a sense of how it's gonna go. I think there's too many confusing things going on right now. What do we feel like? What do we want to ask?
I would like to know how to destroy this man.
Okay. So, just to read the spell, by casting gem inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divining tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. Okay, so maybe that was...
How can I kill this man in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
How you wouldn't be asking the entity a question. You would say, "This is what we plan to do. How will this fare for us?" It's kind of how you'd be prompting the augury. So it's not necessarily like, "What's the best way to do XYZ?" It's like, "We're going to be doing this. Will we die? Will we succeed?" That's kind of how the spell works.
Yeah, I also have a divination as a 4th level spell, which is maybe more helpful. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days, and we get a reply that can be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. I don't know. Do we feel like this is helpful? Because I could just entirely scrap this also.
It's hard. I think it's intriguing. The 7 days makes it kind of hard to.
It's
Because
limiting.
yeah, we really don't know. We don't have a time on this, like, event potentially. Like, it could be.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, cool. So I'm gonna hold on to this then, I guess.
I have an idea. Phineas feels a threat, like, clearly from this conversation. And I think there's lots of people in the house or, in the estate that aren't de jour or Darlingtons. So I think he would cast clairvoyance. Into the Krumar's room, wherever they're staying. Mr. and Mrs. Krumar. And would want to listen in to any conversation they're having.
When you say Krumars, you mean the father and mother?
Mr. and Mrs., yes.
Okay.
No, I don't want to hear moans and groans. Double cock moans and groans.
You want to
So
hear?
That's why there's 2 roses on the same page. Because there's 2 cooters.
Two cooters.
So you want to hear what they're doing?
Yeah, I can as an action switch between seeing. Maybe I would do seeing first, just to see if they're in there. And then if I have a visual that they're in there and awake, I would then switch to listening.
Sorry, I'm thinking through it.
Yeah. It's kind of like weird timing because, like, it's first thing in the morning. I doubt they're like, yes, our plans are first thing in the morning. Let's review.
Well,
but I think that's his knee-jerk reaction is like, oh. Still suspicious a little.
I'm into this. I think
even if his thought process, even if he doesn't get info, like maybe they're not like a part of this whole dream thing that Brick is talking about, maybe he can at least get a little bit more information about their holdup and what they know about this upcoming wedding or not. I think it's double-sided. Like if he even gets some information about their thoughts on the Darlingtons and Emmeline, and if they have any idea of if they're talking about wedding stuff too or possible engagement, I would want to know that too.
Okay. So Phineas, what does it look like when you cast clairvoyance? And
so I would picture him standing and putting his shoulders back and like wrapping his arms around his shoulders like this, like hugging himself kind of. and closing his eyes and like kind of putting his head back like this and like really focusing.
Vera, you notice when Finn poses like that, it really defines his biceps. A really great way.
She's just
Okay.
like the whole time, like just like almost touching them, like ooh.
Okay, so
No!
I don't know. I
Aw.
missed something clearly. Oh. Okay, so Phineas, first, your eyes, it's kind of like you know these halls in and out. And so as you class with clairvoyance, there's not a question, like you heard like through passing as you were going up to bed where the Kumars were staying. It takes no thought for you, for your eyes start as if they've like left your body and they start moving through the floors of the manor house. And they land on the door of one of the guest rooms, one of the better guest rooms, on the other side of the home. They stop at the door and they work themselves straight through. Your eyes are inside the guest room that the Krumars are in. Sorry, my music stopped. There we go. Okay. Your eyes go in and you can see, though it is still early, and they're certainly not ready to start meeting with other guests in the Darlington family, Mr. and Mrs. are awake. And the room they're staying in is large. It's not just a bedroom. There is like a guest space as well. And you can see that they are both sitting on two like chase chairs. Mr. Krumar seems to be reading a few documents. And Mrs. Kumar is at a vanity, just like setting up her hair and like just getting her like self put together. And you can see she's talking over her shoulder, but you can't hear the words. But you can see as she's like getting herself ready, her shoulders turned. And you can see they're having a conversation, Mr. and Mrs. Kumar.
Eyes completely. So I would then
Darkness.
immediately
What
switch,
shifts
right?
from the visuals, you can start to begin to hear their two voices. The familiar voice of Mrs. Krumar is it's almost like if you were in the room, you're like standing in between them. So you can clearly hear her voice on your left ear and his response in your right ear, Phineas. You can see she's telling Mr. Krumar about what her and Willa, their daughter, got into last night. She speaks rather fondly of one of the guests, Miss Quamella, who's regaled her on her adventures and how it kind of reminded her of how when they first met. And that's the first conversation you hear for about a minute or two, like the tail end of that. And you will hear that Mr. Krumar responds back that the rest of the adventuring party regaled them on some rather heroic fights and battles, including a monstrous beholder and a dragon, all within the cigar room of the Darlington Manor. It was quite a spectacle. Something he would expect from going to a trip to a day, as opposed to, the rather modest, quaint Celine. And so they seem rather impressed by even just the first evening here in Astasia. It seems all to be rather not surface level, but there's nothing too conspiratorial in the discussion. But as you linger there, just for it's for 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes, yeah.
The conversation would start to turn, and you'd hear them start to talk about their thoughts on Emmeline. I think we've painted Miss Etram as like a rather smart woman. So she's giving Mr. Krumar her thoughts on the Darlington family. What she's already picked up on your siblings. I don't really know much about, the young ones, but they all seem well behaved. Emmeline seems very interested in Etram, and I think it works for us, dear. And he's like, it's not our decision. Ultimately, it's his. But yes, I would agree. And so things seem to be going well in that regard too. I'm trying to think if they probably wouldn't get too much into politics in the morning. So they might not talk about the other guests. But it all seems pretty positive when it comes to the crew Mars, honestly. No scandal or catastrophe to start, and if anything, I think they're picking up that Emmeline cares about this week is probably the only thing you'd pick up, that she's clearly making a deliberate effort. And you'll hear Mrs. Kumar will come to like, I can only hope it's for Etram and not for anything else potentially. Like, let's hope these are all for the right reasons.
Okay.
And it's just not how she is.
Okay. I would tilt my head forward and open my eyes and slowly unweave my arms across my body. And I would say that well, it sounds like you impressed Mrs. Krumar last night, Mess. Kudos.
I am a people person by nature, so that's not surprising.
Yeah, it seems like they're actually quite impressed with us and maybe even my sister, which is good. But I didn't hear any sketchy. I didn't get any bad vibes from them. I don't think they're really up to anything um, ill-natured or malicious. I really think they're just here to possibly witness an engagement. Did you guys get any like bad vibes from anyone at dinner last night? Like, again, I didn't really get any threatening feelings.
Well, I mean, there's just the entire fact that Mirgan hasn't been in contact with anyone. That still continues to be.
Wait, what?
Nobody's heard from Mirgan in months.
Oh. Well, shit.
And nobody seems to care too much about why they haven't heard. I mean, I know Kylie had to run kind of quickly, and
It was
seemed like there was
sudden.
some pretty urgent business back home. I wonder what the state of affairs in Mirgan's like, I guess.
And would your dad know anything?
Maybe. Mirgan doesn't really deal with this area much, but you know, it is a pretty large power in Adurtha. So I'm sure he knows some stuff, but I can definitely ask. Can also try reaching out to Kylie if you guys want.
You can talk to Kelly.
Yeah, I can send her a message.
I think that is going to be the best way to get information.
And talk
Yeah.
to her in forever.
I know.
She didn't really come back either. I hope she's okay.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, shit, what am I supposed to say?
Eh,
Be careful you don't have that many words.
How many?
Yeah, I
can you
know.
say?
I'm learning how to get good at that to make sure I get to the point before I run out of words.
Happens all the time, then you get cut off in the middle of a sentence, and then you don't get the whole picture, and then
I gotta make sure I save 2 words for XOXO.
I just warn you, Finn. Don't give too much information about us.
Should I just like be like, hey, how y'all doing?
No. We do not know where the Shadow Man is.
do we think
And-
that's safe to reach right out like that? Or do we want to try a more traditional method of communication and see what happens?
I think it is more urgent than traditional.
And a more traditional method of communication might get intercepted. but sending something directly to her, unless someone's already in there, can't really get taken away.
Just fear if Miragin is in trouble. I bet it is the Shadow Man.
This is really our only way to find out.
Yes. But I worry for Finn. If it got into my mind.
Okay. I'm gonna cast sending. Or message, whatever the fuck it is. Where is my thing? No, sending. 3rd level. Baby, we blow through these 3rd level spells today. Okay. Hey, Kylie. It's Finn and du jour. Wait. Hey, Kylie. It's Finn and du jour.
Du jour's one word.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't heard from you. And are worried about our friend.
Eight.
Please respond to message XO. We said XOXO counts as one, right? To message. No, please respond to message. It's urgent. XOXO Finn. I think that was 25, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then as you send the message, I picture it's like I know we have like a lot of like communicating with each other's heads. I kind of picture it's like that, right? It's going right into that person. They can hear it from within. Okay. You wait for the response, Finn. A voice you haven't heard in over a month, if not 2 months at this point in your travels. To the small girl you met on the outskirts of Sundrel. You do receive a response. And the voice that reaches across the way, across this psychic line, is Kylie. It sounds strained and tired. And it says, "Get out of my head. Don't worry about me. I'm fine." That's all you hear.
Well, it's definitely Kylie. She sounds stressed.
What did she say?
She told me to get out of her head, which is something she would definitely say. And she said, "What? Leave me alone." I already forgot what she said.
Yeah.
Get out
She
of
said,
my head.
"Get out of my head. Don't worry about me. I'm fine."
Oh, and she's pretty much said, "Don't worry about me, I'm fine." So I'm calling BS. And clearly doesn't seem like she was very willing to open up about what's going on. We may have to. I'm going to talk to Dad. D.
Let's see what some of the other dignitaries might know. They were pretty cagey about it, but if we let them know that we've had contact with someone weird, again, maybe they'll be a little more open.
You're pretty close with Mrs. Krimar. Maybe she knows something.
I'm happy to speak with her.
Yeah.
Brick, I've been thinking,
Hmm.
where this desert that you saw, the desert of your homeland.
It started.
Paige, it started out as
I think that's how you
My
described
desert.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
pictured it as like a familiar place to you.
But since it started as that, it started as my desert. And then, with a blink of my eye, it was something else. There were dark red storm clouds in the distance, and what was once a mountain and a horizon turned into a line of shadow men.
Does it sound at all familiar?
Roll a history check for me, Buttons, and I'll say with advantage.
Good, because it's a -1. Oh, that's not bad. The first one was an 18.
18 with advantage, or the second one was the -1? Oh,
They're both.
oh, that's your
-1.
modifier. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. If you're asking if it's similar to what you saw across the portal in your memory with your mom, is that what you're trying to ask?
Maybe that, just like kind of that, and also if it sounds kind of like home.
You're getting a secondhand description of this place. The big things that stand out to you, Buttons, is this wash of just red across the lands and the dark, almost like indigo blue sky, and the only separation between those two colors, the complete darkness of the sky itself, and the fiery land is this like ever-growing ember that reaches the horizon. And amongst the skyscape is these jagged shapes. That visual reminds you of what you saw on the other side of the portal the day your mom saved your homeland. Yeah, I would say that definitely rings true.
It do sound like the plane my people came from. I don't know what accent I'm doing right now, but I'm just gonna keep doing it.
What plane is that?
I think it's the abyss, right? Where the labyrinth is.
I think the
Nine hells.
yeah, I
I
think
get
it's
them
nine
mixed.
hells. Yeah, I
I
did
get 'em
too.
all the time.
I believe it's one of the layers of the 9 hells. Sorry, guys.
Iron Hells. Well, that on top of the Nostromosu is enough to make a pretty upsetting puzzle, incomplete as it is.
Did you say? Sorry. Did Button say the 9 hells?
I said whichever one it was.
Okay, just so I understand. Okay,
We're figuring that out.
no, that's fine. I just
I can't remember off the top of my head.
it seems like a hell thing and not an abyss thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look up off the map.
Just so I'm keeping it straight, the Nostromosu come from the abyss, but we're saying that these dudes come from hell.
No, it is the abyss. The endless maze is the 600th layer of the abyss.
You know, a Kaji 600.
Yeah.
So they're all coming from the same plane of existence.
Well, I think didn't Paige mention when we first talked about demons that she's saying that hell and the abyss are kind of shared in this terms of monster fighting stuff that we're doing.
Sorry,
That
give me a
there'll be
second, guys.
some
I'm pulling up a
cross
couple things. Yeah, what I had mentioned is like traditionally in Dungeons and Dragons lore, there's something called the Blood Wars, which is that like devils notoriously fight, like the Nine Hells fight notoriously against the creatures of the abyss. And they don't like ever work together. That's what the Blood Wars includes. I was saying where I wasn't taking that as like lore for this, meaning that though there could be places where or times or moments where those two creature types could be antagonistic towards each other, we're not taking it like quite literally and applying it here. So yeah,
But-
like I might be including them interchangeably. There could be potentials where they work in tandem. It's not like an exclusionary thing. Was all I was trying to say.
Totally. So should we not worry about putting distinctions on the Abyss versus Nine Hells? It's just the bad place. Is that the feeling you want us to?
Correct. There is a potential that creatures, in my opinion, and what I'm trying to build is there could be potentials where devils could control creatures of the abyss. Creatures of the abyss could control fiends or devils. They can work in partnership with one another potentially.
Got it.
I'm really struggling, guys.
No, you're good. I just don't. If we keep running into this question, I don't want to keep going. Paige, do you want us to call it the? It's just like you're saying both of these forces are working potentially in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great.
Great.
No one panic.
Sorry, Brick is panicked.
Yeah, Brick's not.
I guess the only thing that we know is that was the abyss. That we were like the endless mazes in the abyss. I think what Paige is saying is there might be some meta knowledge here, but maybe not to work off of that.
I don't have any meta knowledge. I'm confused.
I know. I just
Have
don't want to
meta
keep
knowledge.
asking.
I don't have not meta knowledge. I have that.
No
Yeah.
thoughts.
Cool. Great.
So, we're working with something that seems pretty shitty. Do we want to go break off, talk to whoever we think might be able to give us at least a handful of answers, and then this might lead us away from your family. Like, if Mirgan needs us, is that okay? Are you comfortable doing that right now?
Knowing that everyone here is safe right now, is definitely a huge relief. That I would feel fine, continuing our journey. When I got that letter from Dad, the first thing I thought was, they're in trouble. So now being here for a couple days, like, yeah, would it be nice to see my sister get married if that's happening right away? Sure. But I made a promise to you guys and to Babe and to that, I forget her name. Hold on. I have it right here.
We have to unfuck the timeline.
What was her name? The Great Amarettus. That I was gonna take this shit down. If that means I have to leave, I have to leave.
But we do not know if Merrigan is
Yeah.
this great threat. I think it is important to learn more from these powerful people. But my want is to find this shadow and cast it out.
Yeah, and if the shadow thing's coming for us, which Brick's kind of hinting at, I don't want to be in Celine.
I do not know that it bode well that Jacob be in the dream as well.
What?
Yeah,
Don't you think it's just because, Brick was hanging out with Jacob all day yesterday and that's why he's in the dream?
If you feel comfortable with that.
What the fuck, Buttons?
I think demons.
What the fuck's that, bro?
I think demons just take on the most unsettling form they can find for us. I think.
I run downstairs to go check on my brother.
Finn.
Jesus Christ! I'll run in and give him a hug if he's there.
Yeah, he's in his room. He's still in his pajamas, and you can see he's got like a housemaid like trying to get him ready. And he's playing with toys on his bedroom floor.
And I walk and I go, it's a me. And I'll run over and hug him.
Phineas!
No.
That's our thing. Remember. How you doing, buddy?
I'm
You feel
good.
okay?
I'm fine.
Oh yeah? Did you have a good night last night?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
What? Yeah, okay. You're behaving yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. You watch your sister, even though she's
Mm-mm.
older than you? Oh,
Mm-mm.
good. Is she watching you?
Mm-mm. No,
Oh.
Brick is looking out for me. I taught Brick how to play checkers.
You taught Brick how to play checkers?
Mm-hmm.
Did you beat her?
Mm-hmm. Every
Good
time.
boy. Yes, that's good. Good. You better watch her though. She's a quick learner.
No, she's not.
Okay, well, stay out of trouble, okay? You sure you're okay? You feel fine? I would like touch his head, his forehead, see if he's running a fever.
Do a medicine check for me with disadvantage.
You're telling me I can't tell if his head feels hot or not?
You're trying to determine
Well, I rolled a nat one, so 3.
Is
You're
he
demon
devil
free,
man?
baby.
He feels fine.
Great. Okay. Well, I just didn't get to see you much yesterday. I just wanted to say good morning.
Good morning. We're playing chess today.
Ooh, chess is very complicated, but okay. You mean me or with Brick?
We're all gonna play chess.
We are? Okay. What, is that
Yeah.
on the agenda per Emmeline?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He points out the window.
Uh-huh.
And as you both like go up to the windowsill, you can see out in the gardens, someone has set up a giant chessboard, like human-sized chessboard.
Ooh. Oh, wow. I'm rusty. I haven't played in a while.
Emmeline said I could play a knight.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure I'm there.
You're playing.
Okay. I'm playing. And I'd give him
A noogie?
a little, like, more like a rubbing of the head, but like give him a little hug too. And then walk out.
Okay.
And walk back to the group.
Phineas, before you go back to the group, you pass by on the, because you're right, the kids are on the lower floor, like the Darlington kids.
Mhm.
You pass by the hallway heading back up to the grand staircase where the guests are staying, including de jour, and you pass by one of your father's smaller studies, not his
Mhm.
main one where like you guys were kind of like having like your cigar stuff, a smaller study.
Mhm.
And you hear voices behind the door.
Is the door closed?
The door is closed.
Okay, I would linger and maybe like put my head to the door, see if I hear anything a little bit better. Do a
Roll a
little
sneak-
eavesdropping.
Do a stealth check for me.
Yerp. Stealth. 14?
Okay, and then roll a perception check for me.
18?
Okay. Phineas, you do that thing where you like hear it as you're walking by the door, and so you make that sound as if you continued walking, and then you like slightly foot yourself over so you can get close to the door to lean yourself in. Though you can't hear the conversations perfectly, you hear two voices. One you quickly recognize as your father, Elric Darlington, a duke. Celine. I always have to give him his formal title. It's fun.
Yeah.
The other voice you can't like immediately recognize. It is a male voice. It is lower, and you can see that they're talking. Why it's hard to hear is they're talking in rather hushed tones, rather quietly behind the door. With your 18, pretty good roll. You can hear that they're talking. They're talking about the guests here, those who've come to visit, specifically of our neighboring lands.
Mm-hmm.
You hear them reference the number 8. Though you can't hear the full sentence, but it's like you hear like, but 8, and it's like back to like a hushed tone. And you'll hear what starts as like these like murmuring tones. You recognize your father as you're eavesdropping. His voice gets like kind of to that confident, resolute tone that you're so used to hearing him. And he responds, "We have everyone we need here."
I can't recognize who the other voice is.
As you linger, I'll have you do another check.
Do I burn my last 3rd level spell to cast clairvoyance and get a better idea who is behind the door? No.
Burn them spells.
Yeah, burn it. Screw it. Burn it, baby.
Can I make a suggestion?
I'm gonna then try to tuck myself somewhere where I'm not standing right outside the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would suggest walking away before you cast.
Yeah, because I don't need to be close. Yeah, I would like go into like
you could go
side
back
room.
to the shore if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to waste that much time because it sounds like they're in the heat of the conversation, so I want to get in there and hear as much as I can right now. So I would get to the closest space where I'm not clearly eavesdropping.
Doesn't it take 10 minutes to cast though?
No.
Yes,
it lasted 10 minutes.
No, duration's 10 minutes, casting time's 10 minutes.
To cast! Never mind, I'm not doing that then. Okay, so instead I would then try to linger longer and hear more. If I have to do another check, I would do that.
Yeah, I'll need you to make another stealth check for me.
Yerp. I'm gonna use lucky on that.
Okay.
I rolled the same thing. 16 for the stealth. No, I rolled better. And you need another perception?
Yes. What was your stealth just then?
16.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn my second lucky. 15.
On the perception, or
Yep, so 16 for the stealth, 15 for the perception.
as you linger there, the main thing is you're trying to identify the other voice, right?
Yeah, and I hear the we have everyone we need here. I would try to get anything else after that. And so those would be my 2 priorities. Know who the other voice is. Try to understand what the hell that statement meant, if I could get anything else out of that comes after that.
Okay. Phineas, as you linger on the other side of this door, trying to hear what your father is discussing and with whom, the voice, now that you've spent a few minutes here, risking exposure from anyone passing by or being detected on the other side of the door, you identify that the voice is of the guest of our Adaria
Oh,
guest.
it's the fucking rock guy.
Um,
The lizard folk guy, right? What was his name? It was something like the Rock. Zarok!
Zarok, yeah.
yeah. Of
Do
our
you smell
lizard
what
folk from
Zarok is
Adaria.
cooking? Something not good and I don't like it.
So yes, it is Zarok from Adaria. You can just picture, you can hear the gravel in the voice, the gruffness, that kind of the words kind of end in a muffled as he's finishing sentences. Though you can't pick up the full conversation, what you do hear them discuss is that Mirrigan has not responded for over a month and a half. Beyond the lack of correspondence, they refer to it as it's gone silent. And by the sentence that you pick up, it's gone silent, it's not necessarily referring to like the correspondence they're referring to, like sending footmen and messengers. It's gone silent is referring to something else outside of traditional conversation. And you can see as it is Zarak who keeps repeating is referring to the efforts made to contact Mirrigan, and your father Elric responds, well, we didn't necessarily all have to meet here to know of that. That was clear when it happened. And you'll hear the voices silent for a second. Like it's almost like this conversation is going to continue, and then the conversation pauses.
I walk away.
Hey, you can't walk. It's not hyperspeed walking away, ma'am. Things happen. You can hear things. The conversation halts, but you can hear muffled footsteps on the other side of the door.
And I would try to actually walk away from the door.
Phineas, as you're rushing back up the stairs, returning to de jour, you hear the door open behind you, the door that you were eavesdropping on. And you quickly glance behind your shoulder, and you see your father's head poke out and look both ways, and his eyes make eye contact with you. You'll see the door closes behind him again. He returns back to the study room.
What the fuck? Okay. I would go... Shit, dude, what the fuck is happening? I want to go to Aldous. No, Aldous... Is that my oldest brother? Yeah, Elric Aldous. I'm gonna go to Aldous.
Okay.
To see if he has any information on what the hell's going on with Mirrigan. And I want...
Well,
clearly
Aldous
I know...
was also... Didn't Kieran also speak to Aldous last night, and he was really kind of like...
So, okay, I would
oblivious?
skip that then if you could tell me, like, with that, like, he wasn't just being oblivious with Kieran, like, he would still be oblivious with me even though I'm his brother.
I was trying to be pretty forthright with that, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
not trying to
got
hide
it.
anything from Kieran.
Okay, got it. Then that's fine. So I doubt if he doesn't know, then none of them are gonna know about it.
Why not just push in on Daddy's office?
Hold
You want
on.
me to go in?
Why not? You're his son.
I can fucking wild shape.
Oh, right.
I
That
can
whole
fucking
thing.
wild shape.
Okay, I would run back upstairs. I'm gonna keep running around this whole goddamn place. I first go, buttons? Jake was fine. He's not running a fever. And he's not being...
It's not Button's fault, dog.
I know.
Phineas
I know.
is just like in denial Finn.
You threatened my brother.
He's like, no, everything's fine here. Everyone's fine here. We can fucking go. Everything's fucking fine.
Guys are fine. But I did overhear sketchy ass conversation in my dad's study that clearly he didn't want anyone else hearing. I caught some stuff about Mirrigan, and it's gone silent, whatever that means. And I feel like something's up. I don't know what, but he was talking to Zarak from what is it called? Aldir.
Aria.
Adaria.
Adaria, thank you. I haven't talked to that guy in forever. I don't really know much about his fucking shtick, but
He was a bit cagey with me last night, to be perfectly honest. Talking about the way succession works in Adaria, and it seemed to hit him the wrong way. I don't know if I said something wrong, but clearly there's more going on here than any of us really understands.
it's almost
I
like they're
I was
trying
gonna
to
say we should
downplay what's going on in Mirgan.
I
Phineas,
think so too.
roll a history check when Kieran mentions Adaria's succession.
Okay. 18.
Yes.
Finn, though not an expert in Adarian politics, you know, Adarians choose their leader by sending them north of Adaria to the cold Arctic landscape above, and a leader essentially has to prove, like, by a trial to be deemed fit to rule Adaria. And typically many people are sent at the same time. And so leaders of Adaria typically have to be pretty cutthroat to earn the title. Not just with the environment, but with other contenders.
Yeah, they're different. They're definitely cut differently in Adaria. While we kind of just keep it in the family with who's running and maybe have like elections and things like that. They
Those are
literally
two different things, Kelly. Which one is it?
Well, I'm saying like in normal places
Yeah,
do
like
those two
my
sort of things.
family, my family elects the oldest. I think that's an election.
I mean, like, instead of having an election or like a familial line, they have to prove themselves, similar to like probably some of the tribes that we've already met. So I don't think he's I think, you know, he may be a little cutthroat.
Through something, it's not necessarily anything sketchy. Just an ordeal.
What did he say to you? He when you had your conversation, he was saying like he was like kind of like talking down. This is me, Kelly, talking down about how like the Darlingtons are just like in charge.
Yeah, not so much that. Whereas he seemed to take a lot of pride in the way that Adaria does things, and the way that they choose like a deserving leader.
Okay.
I think that there's maybe a little bit of resentment for like the nepotism to an
Like things
extent.
just okay.
But I don't necessarily know if that like I searched him and he didn't seem hostile. Like my insight checks weren't giving off like hostility from him. He was just more like I'm a grumpy dude.
Got it.
I don't like the feeling of a lot of what's going on. I don't really understand the way that a lot of this stuff works, but I feel like we're walking around here blind. Clearly there's conversations in shadowed corners and closed doors that are affecting a lot of the reasons why people are here. We need to figure out what's going on. I, for one, don't mind sneaking around a bit. I could get small. I know a couple of you people can turn other people into small things too.
Can you stalk out my dad?
Sure. What's something your dad wouldn't notice?
His own son?
Why don't you just go in there then?
You calling me coward, Brooke?
No, coward. I just don't like this idea of us. Why not just tell your father we are willing to do the right thing?
Didn't you say your dad's been acting strange the whole time you've been back, like he's not been himself?
He's been very nice and loving, which is not him usually. So yeah, I just get a weird feeling, but I just am kind of attributing it to maybe this whole wedding. He's just getting sappy.
Just go talk to him about it.
All right, fine. If you guys want to sneak around and, like I said,
But
I think the
how
crew
about
march did.
Karen listen in on your talk with Dad, and we all listen?
I don't like that.
If there's any particularly shady characters, I wouldn't mind tailing
Definitely
them.
Zarok. We need to, and maybe I like mess talking to Mrs. Krumar because you guys are cute. You kiki a little bit.
But maybe, and I'm not one for necessarily advocating thievery or anything like that, but might be worth it to go through some people's things if we can get them out of their rooms.
Can you get your dad out of his office so we just look in his office?
Yeah, I can.
It's like he has like 6 or 7 studies in this place.
We divide and conquer.
Split the party.
Yeah, I can definitely go for a walk through the gardens, maybe. I think we have what? I look at the itinerary that's posted on the wall for today's things, and what I think we have 2 hours before human chess.
Not even. You have maybe less. You've got maybe an hour.
We have less than an hour before human chess.
Alright.
Human chess is for any interested participants, though it seems like your brother has like recruited you by default, but
Yeah.
On top of human chess there will be like an outdoor like tea party of sorts.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go talk to Dad now and try to get some info. I'll pull him outside.
I'll get small and I'll see what I can find.
Animorphs. I can go find Miss Krumar.
I can help break into a study.
I will help look at studies.
Finn, does your dad have a favorite study or a secret study?
No secret studies.
That you know of.
Exactly, that I know of. His most favorite study that he spends the majority of his time on is it's upstairs in the west wing.
Is there anything around there that we can pretend that we're doing that's not breaking into a study?
Yeah.
Is there like a table tennis course or court or something like that next door?
Table tennis. Yeah, there's definitely a table tennis room.
There's pickleball.
Yeah.
Racquetball, that's a nice rich white person sport.
Yes, there's
Indoors?
a racquetball.
On
There's
the
a
second
racquetball. There's an
floor?
indoor racquetball course
Yeah.
on
On the
floor
second
2 of the
floor?
West Wing.
Racquetball is indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On the
it's often on
second-
the second floor.
It's on the second floor that got me. I didn't realize it's a thing.
What if there's no, that doesn't make sense. What's in rich houses? Maybe there's like a gym.
The personal.
His personal gym is over there. And there's
Okay.
that's where he gets swole. So you guys can go get swole.
So it says 1 minute, and he comes back. He's in a tank top, like big open on the sides, and it's a picture of like a beautiful blonde woman lifting up a big, heavy, like golden set of like dumbbells.
It's
And
on
it
Joaquin's
says-
weight.
It says Joaquin lifts gold.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I've noticed that Glint has very muscular legs.
We're just gonna let that happen, guys. When I say I have a little bit of beef in my arms, you guys are like, no.
I'm a big, beefy paladin cat.
True.
It's Speaking of which, I did
Also-
update your token. I got your new.
Who remind you, this is what he looks like now.
Also,
Yes,
we did make Colin's character canonically a virgin one time for a really long time, so I feel like we got him already.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Do the old.
Let's
Gonna find an orc and do the old figure out the place as a cat. Yeah, Buttons will also put on something sexy and muscular.
All right, so you're gonna join Clint on
Yep.
the. Okay.
Being physical, going to break into a study.
Can you please wear like what did they wear in the 80s? Like those leotards.
Can you make? I was about to say, can you? I was about
With
to say,
leg
can you just wear
warmers.
the weightlifter leotard?
Thinking like how all of the guys back then wore crop tops, but it would still be like furry. So you're
That's
That's
naked, but
that's
like
all
not
furry
really.
art, isn't it? Though, isn't it
Yeah.
all furry art with crop tops, like cut crop
Yep.
tops? Okay.
I have not spent that much time with furry art, and now I want to unsee that in my mind's eye.
Hey guys, my extensive knowledge of furry art, I'm pretty sure crop tops are pretty prevalent.
Can you Google that?
Furry crop top.
Are crop tops prominent in furries? Yeah, I don't.
You want to hear something
You
funny?
might need moderate safe search on.
Furry crop top is very wholesome when you Google it. It's just showing women's tops that are made with like a furry textile.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah, we can go with the Leo, and in the small amount of time that he had, he grabbed a coal out of the fireplace and drew a picture of himself roughly with charcoal on the front of it, with his foot on the head of Nostrobosu, and it says "Fuck Nostrobosus." Yeah, baby.
As I realized I missed something earlier, it actually says Gold's Gym on it. That's all it needs to
Hell
say.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
to say.
perfect. Perfect.
that's the perfect use of a rewind.
Okay.
All right, so we got the two boys going to like the study by the fitness center.
Yeah, I will go to the one that I guess Daddy was just at.
Okay.
And I will be a little mouse.
Okay. Brick, you said you were helping break people in to studies.
Yeah, I think I would try to. You said there were multiples, so I don't know if we're trying to actually hit all of them or just some of them. I don't imagine Brick's going to be the best completely on her own, just because she can't read really fast. So it would just be
What if
like her
you-
grabbing a ton of papers. I don't know if that's what we want.
What if you stalked Zarok a bit?
Okay, yeah, because Matt's doing the mouse in the. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll follow Kieran down, and when I see him transform, I'll kind of plant myself outside that office
Mm-hmm.
and wait for. I'll hide and I'll wait for Zarok to leave the office, and I'll trail him if I can, if he hasn't already left the office, which is the bigger question.
And Bira?
I will help as much as I can. Yeah, I can't, since I can't do anything small. I'll wait kind of for her.
What do you want to do?
Vera would be really anxious because she's trying to impress them, but she also wants to help, right? I could also Misty step into one of them. Potentially.
Before we like split, does anyone actually have thieves' tools? I have proficiency, but I realize I don't actually have them.
Yeah, I don't actually have them.
I have a small knife.
I have woodcarver's tools.
I need to buy some thieves' tools, apparently.
Yeah.
I think I do. Wait, maybe no, I shouldn't. I have a disguise kit.
And a little bag of sand.
Does a mess kit help in this situation?
Probably not. What's the chances that your local quartermaster has thieves'
Hey
tools
guys,
that I
I
can
could
buy?
just give you keys to the house.
That might be helpful.
I would, again, like, I'm sure if Daddy wanted to actually lock one of his rooms, he probably has a separate key. But I would give you like a key to like, like the common rooms and things like that. I would give it to Glenn. But again, I can't promise that there's not a special key for certain rooms.
And as you've been moving around, what sort of like locks are on the windows, if any?
I didn't picture locks on the
Yeah,
windows, Fanny. Did you?
no.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Who would like to go first? I think I should know what Finn's gonna do to pull his dad out of the first study, I guess. That's where we should
Yeah.
probably start.
Well, I would probably go down, and I wouldn't want to like interrupt. So I would kind of see if like he's done and like the door's open and if he's still in there.
How do you do that?
I'd walk by the room.
Okay. You don't hear any voices
Mm.
like you did last time.
Mm. Okay. Then I would like make my presence very known, like not be quiet walking around, walking the little chipper step to.
There's a lot of servants walking down. Like
Oh, okay.
it's not like it's not like quiet at this point in the day. So like
All
it
right.
wouldn't stand out.
I
to
walk
your,
up to the
yeah.
door and knock.
There we go. I thought you were trying to get in passive aggressively.
Yeah, I was like, are you waiting for him to be like, oh yes, Phineas on the other side of the door, come in, my boy.
No, I was just trying to make it like I was
Make
trying
it
to
known
make
that
it seem
you're
like
there.
yes, I would knock on the door.
Okay. Your father opens the door, looks at you, smiles. Phineas, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
It's kind of like he's kind of got a smirk on. Very
Mhm.
good. How are you this morning?
Quite well. It was a good evening. I actually wanted to like talk to you and see how things are going. Would you mind going on a stroll with me?
A stroll.
Sure, it's nice out. I'd love to see the setup that we're going for the chess game we're going to be playing later.
Roll a persuasion check.
18.
Stroll sounds lovely. He'll come out with you, close the door behind him.
I thought dinner went quite well last night.
I agree. Yes, I'm sure your sister's thrilled.
Yeah. I didn't know that we're still working on this whole engagement thing, but she filled me in. Yeah.
Things need to be done in a specific order.
That's what I keep hearing. Well, I guess we're waiting on the Kumar's approval.
It seems that's what we're waiting on. I guess the young Mr. Krumar is just waiting for the right moment.
Well, like I told her, if there's anything that I can do to facilitate this, I want to. I
Do
only
not
want
worry.
the best for my sister.
Of course, do not worry about Emmeline's plans. I'm sure by the end of this week there will be different types of plans in work. So, wedding plans.
Right.
But let's not linger too long on Emmeline. Your mother tells me you have a person in your life. Tell me about this young woman you've brought home.
Oh, well, please tell me you got a chance to talk with her last night, I hope.
I didn't know.
Ugh, well, we'll have to change that today. Yeah, it's her name's Bira Bendick. Um, she's actually a student at Astromiums. She's very smart. Probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. Um, she's caring, she's sweet, she's loyal, and I really like her. And it would mean a lot if you guys, gave her a chance and got to know her.
Well, that's what your mother said. She wants to get to know her. Well, I want to know, do you know what you want from this?
Want from my relationship with Bira?
Yes, Phineas.
Well, we've only met a few months ago, but it's new. But it feels different in a good way. I don't know, we haven't had those talks.
Do you trust her?
Yeah, I do.
Do you trust her with your life?
Yes.
Would you trust her with the lives of your family?
Yes.
Then what are you questioning?
You're in a loving, marrying mood.
I just don't want you to be so unsure. This is not the Phineas I remember from a few months ago.
Well, I want to make sure things are right. And just like the crew Mars, I want to make sure they're done the right way.
You sound
It
so
sounds like-
exhausted by the Krumar, the young Mr. Krumar.
No, I understand where he's coming from, but again, we haven't had these talks. Do I see a future with Vera? Sure. I wouldn't be with her if I didn't. But we have a lot on our plate right now, and I haven't, to be honest, really thought about that future that much. Seems like we have bigger things to deal with right now than that.
Your father will laugh. What is there to be... You sound so stressed. What is there to be worried about? You're home. You're enjoying all these lovely days and evenings with your family. What is there to worry about?
We've run into a lot of stuff in the few months we've been out on the road.
Now you're home.
Yeah, now I'm home. But all those things we run into on the road don't just go away because I'm in Celine. The world keeps spinning outside of Celine.
I understand that. I understand that more than anybody.
And it seems like it feels like we have something really big on our plate that we're trying to deal with. And it may be bigger than us. Are things really okay here?
Here, of course. But yes, I know what you overheard. Yes, there are serious things
I didn't hear
happening in the
over-
world.
I didn't overhear
Phineas.
anything.
Phineas. This is not the first time I've seen my son sneaking outside of my study.
I thought I was sneakier than that.
I do not know what you overheard with Zarok, but yes, things are not all wedding planning and flowers and bands and music. There are serious things happening in Adartha. But Celine is still your safe haven, it's still your home. And I promise it will stay that way.
Well, I want to help. What can I do?
You can see, like, the lights kind of shining in your father's eyes, Phineas.
What can we do? And when I say we, I mean de jour.
Who did that? Wesley. A knife. So now I need to figure out where everyone stands. What I ask of you and de jour is trust me.
We're running out of time for... I need more.
Phineas, you are still young. You do not understand everything I am handling right now. You've come in and you've acted suddenly like you know everything going on and you only have a scrap of dirt.
Well, then give me more.
Phineas,
I'm
that
your
is
guest
not...
of honor.
That is not your place.
I've seen things. Probably things you've never seen
You've
before.
seen scraps.
There's
You are
a
still my
war
son.
coming.
Phineas, you are still my son. You are not the leader of Celine. I am. And there are things that I am responsible for, not you. You can go on adventure as you've requested, and you are welcome to do so. And I welcome you to return, and I welcome your friends, and your family will love you no matter what. But you do not come in here and act like Aldous or act like me. Do you understand?
The last thing I want to do is act like you. You're cold. And I don't know what else to say.
And a poopy head?
I know you care about our family and Celine. But you never give me a chance.
You have to earn it, Phineas. You don't come and say, give me. What have you proven to me?
I don't have to prove anything to you, Dad. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that something's wrong. And if you're not going to tell me, fine.
Fine, Phineas. You know, I thought this conversation was going to go very differently.
What did you want me to say, Dad? Just go along with the plans? You need to give me more. How am I supposed to help? How are we supposed to help?
You're meddling
We don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm in the dark.
You just got here, Phineas. I can't even trust you to keep your mouth quiet during a dinner party.
If someone tells me that they're not getting married, I would know! God damn it! I didn't say that in real life. This is Kelly. I need all the information to act upon the information.
You're acting rash. I understand you're young. You've gone and claimed the world, and you've come back, and you think
What's
you can
wrong in
just get
Mirgan?
and Phineas, not now.
What's wrong in Mirgan? We have a friend from Mirgan. We haven't heard from her for months.
They've gone quiet.
What does that mean?
It means none of us have heard from any representative of Mirrigan, neither the former king prior to his death or his now appointed queen.
Now appointed queen?
Yes, Phineas. Now, with your inside source, what do you know of Mirrigan? It sounds like you have a connection. What have you learned? Come, help me, Phineas. I need to know what's going on in Mirrigan. Tell me what you've learned.
Our friend Kylie didn't really tell us much, but she got summoned back to Mirrigan. And I can't read this chat. I haven't read the chat, and I can't. I'm just...
So, we both don't know what's going on with Mirrigan, clearly. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, you are welcome to stay here. You are welcome as my son. But disappointment is an understatement. You can do with this what you will. He pulls something out of his pocket. You can see it's a small box. He hands it to you. This is not how I expected our little stroll this morning to go. He hands it to you and he kind of stands with his arms back behind his back and just looks at you for a second. When you want to apologize, you can come. You can come to my office.
Does he walk away or is he still standing there? Okay.
I'll turn and walk away.
What's in the... I open the box.
It's a small ring. The ring itself, the center of it is this dark pink, almost like magenta red stone, precious stone. The metal has been shaped to form a rose, and underneath of it, what would be like the metal thorns, kind of wrapping around the band, indicating like the thorns and roses. The thorns point out in the shape underneath of like a sun, so it's like a rose on top of a sun on the band.
Do I know of any significance of this ring or no?
You've never seen this ring before.
Okay. I close it and put it in my pocket. Fucking bullshit. Well, shit. That didn't go great.
While Finn stews on that.
Because I don't know what to do after that. I'm like, anybody else?
Yeah, so as any good gym, it has a door that opens and closes, and we're going to choose to close it. For a while, we'll work out a bit, and, peek outside every once in a while. Once Finn has left with his dad, instead of... Well, actually, you know what? Is the door to the office locked once everyone's gone? No one in the hallway...
Sorry, I heard something. The door to the office upstairs by the fitness room, it is locked.
Okay. So in that case, we're going through the windows in the back. We're going to throw them open because it's getting hot in here. We got two hairy boys lifting weights. And
Just panting.
yeah, Glenn's gonna hop out, clamber over to the side, and then use his sharp, pointy little nails to get in under the window into the office and lever it open. I've seen my cat do it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can go through the window if you'd like.
Okay.
Of course, has cat.
Yes. Then from around his waist, he unwraps his 50 feet of hempen cord and affixes it so that Buttons can have an easier time getting over if he needs to.
Yeah, Buttons will fix it on the other side.
Okay.
And then from there, I'm going to go ahead and cast Detect Magic and see if anything jumps out.
Yes, you would sense magic. You would sense in a cabinet in his office. You would sense. Hold tight.
Buttons will be listening at the door as this is going on.
Okay.
If someone's coming, I have a way to block the door real quick. I'll think that at Buttons.
I just read all of the chat from my heated conversation with my dad. I couldn't read it while doing it at the same time.
So, you would sense an aura of. I'm assuming you're using an action when you detect, like when you sense that there's magic. The first thing you notice is in the cabinet in the study there is an aura of divination.
In the cabinet, divination.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, that could be an alarm.
As you focus on the cabinet, there's also a second aura. And that is going to be conjuration.
Huh. I relate that to Buttons. What do you think, Buttons? That seems like it's probably the most important thing in here. Should
Buttons
we...
will relay back, there'll be some big words for a mere pirate.
Actually, on second thought, you sense divination, conjuration, abjuration, and transmutation.
What the fuck is going on in that closet? That desk.
It's two, like, genies fucking.
Honestly, it might be at this point.
Yeah.
Before we fuck with that, I think Buttons and I should check, like, the papers, the non-magic drawers, just like anything that looks like it would be a place that he would hide, like correspondence or news or, work.
Keep in mind, I'm totally cool with this. I just want to give you guys, like, it's a tight timeline for everybody stealing stuff or sneaking in, only because especially with your guys, such a convincing, like, cover up of being in the sentence room, you don't have a lot of time before the staff is going to be seeking out everybody for the tea party. So you're more than welcome. There's a lot of papers in here. I'd love to know how much time in the span of, like, maybe 20 minutes tops you'd want to spend kind of looking through this room. Like, where's the priority? What's the agenda?
Buttons would think back, I think we check out the magic things and then we'll actively listen at the door.
Okay.
Don't get us kicked out of my house!
Okay. Glint is going to see if he can determine from the outside if there's like any sort of magical aura like associated with opening
You'd have to.
the. I
Would
know.
you have to? Yeah. So unless you're casting something.
Well, I've got detect magic up for the moment.
Mm-hmm. And identify. Maybe.
Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna cast a spell magic the on the like on
the cabinet.
the cabinet. Yeah, if it's a magic item, it'll survive. If it's something that would cause a problem, it'll hopefully get dispelled.
So you're casting dispel magic.
Yep.
Flint, you dispel any just precaution, any effect, and you pause after casting it. Those can overlap, both the detect magic, like you'll still sense an aura afterwards, right?
Yeah. Dispel magic's not a concentration, so I'll still like have that up. And if it's a magic item, or if it survived the dispel magic, it'll still read as there.
What I'm doing is if there was any magical effect on the cabinet itself, it would dispel that. All the same auras, you still sense all the same auras I mentioned before. So the dispelling of the cabinet made no difference.
Well, here goes nothing.
Inside you see there is the first thing, it's a rather ornate jewelry box. And there are several rings. And that is where the auras are coming from.
Question is, do I steal all the rings?
I don't know, my lord. Don't steal my daddy's stuff, my lord.
Want them all, though.
What about fair trade, my lord? Fair trade, my lord.
These rings aren't in commerce.
But they were purchased, I'm sure.
You're going down a slippery slope of ethics right now. I love. There are 4 rings.
This is someone from your party's father.
What do the rings look like?
Yeah, and do they all have all the mix, or are each of them one?
Each are 1, I'd say.
Okay.
There are different types of metals. I didn't come up with like visuals. They all look different. They're clearly not like in pairs, or they don't look identical. They are all unique rings.
Do I have any rings that look like one of them on my
No.
person?
What kind of rings do you have?
I don't have anything.
This
So
is
you
the
don't have any
ultimate
magical
test. Present Colin with magical rings that are owned by
There are so many
players'
things that lined up, by the way. Like,
father.
I had those in a specific place. I was like, oh, it's in the locked office. Colin can climb up the window. Okay, I'm not going to challenge that. It's Colin looking at a drawer full of magic rings.
Then probably
Ultimate
doesn't
test.
have the magic item lust that I have, so I'll leave them
Well,
alone.
you can do what you want and not tell Finn.
I think you guys are welcome to discuss this as a group. Like, I have no problem with you guys, like, as a
Yeah, we
group.
probably came up with a game plan before sending us in there.
Yeah, because that's
at the
what
end of
Kelly
the day,
doesn't
like,
give a
I
shit
wanna-
what you do,
Yeah.
but like if Finn found out you stole from Dad, I think Finn would be mad. That's all.
Even now?
Even now, yes. Until we have definitive proof that my dad is evil, I won't believe it.
I don't get it. He acts nice to you. You're like, something's wrong with my dad. He acts the way you expect him to. You're like, my dad's fucking evil, dog. Make it make sense. What do I
Everything they're
do?
saying is fueling into my brain. I'm like, yeah, my dad's evil now.
Finn has experienced unconditional love, and now he does not want or need conditional love. Dad's bad. I think we should turn into dragons and eat him.
I don't like this. I don't like this, like, offinitive, like, we should be killing, like, characters.
Kill
parents.
Daddy.
Yeah.
How else is he gonna get a dead parent backstory?
Yeah.
No, give me that. I need that
I want
tragedy.
that sound.
No, I don't need tragedy.
Or you show up with both parents alive.
And present.
Ugh.
Dad
just
was kind of
rude.
not present because he was busy taking care of a nation.
Yeah, well.
You're right. Tragedy.
It's very
I
tragic
say,
backstory.
in terms of this ring choice, I say, Colin, have fun.
Yeah, do you?
Like at the end of the day,
we as
like
a
what's
party
fun?
will
Yeah,
handle the
as
content.
us
Yeah,
as
just do something
players,
that you want to
what's
do.
fun? What's fun for us as players?
I
Kill the
won't. I
ring.
personally won't
Having
be
4 rings
offended.
of power.
What's
Yeah,
fun is
magic
taking the
items.
rings,
Yeah, what's fun is magic items.
I don't give a fuck. We don't have to
but
like these people don't have to
Finn
like
gives a
us.
fuck.
as a character choice, it doesn't really make sense because we're really just here to try to figure out what's going on. And while I do really want every single magic item that exists, because I'm a dragon, I think it does make most sense for us to leave them alone, and we can always steal them later if it turns out he's a bad guy.
If it turns out he's a bad guy, he'll be wearing them like Thanos.
That's true. You do make a compelling argument.
You can always grab them and be like, "Hey, so your security sucks. Like, you should reward us by letting us keep them."
And listen, I know about securities.
Just send Phineas to apologize for his indiscretion earlier. I go,
Yeah.
Daddy, me want rings.
No,
Give me
there's
more
there's
rings."
so many. I have to detect object right or find object right now. There's so many ways that it can be found out, and then we have a Duke of Celine who, at best, doesn't like us.
You have locate object. I'm sure someone under Daddy's personnel has locate object as well. This is a two-way street.
It's only a second level spell. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone. Once that's done, I'll go back to looking through papers.
Wow. I put Colin through a Herculean trial. I'm shocked. This was Colin's Hydra, and he slew the monster.
Can we roll a vibe check? Can we roll a vibe check?
Absolutely. What's the vibe?
That was actually outside of the game. I just want to
Yeah.
check the vibe here.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
would.
sad that I'm not stealing magic items.
Holy shit! There's a GIF. You found a GIF for it.
Oh,
Gift for what?
vibe check.
Aw. Okay.
All right. Well, buttons will help a little bit, and try to use some serious luck just to stumble upon a wonderful piece of paper that tells us absolutely everything that we need to know.
I guess my question is, because I want to help, I want to make this as productive as possible for you guys. What are some keywords we're like kind of skimming through? What are we trying to spot?
Jurgen.
Jurgen, into the world,
Silence.
Diamonds.
diamonds.
More magic.
Shadow
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
Is Daddy good? Question mark.
Oh,
It says
man.
on a piece of paper, "Is Daddy good?"
Daddy's
No.
journal.
Oh,
Daddy
yeah.
have a journal.
Bad.
My
If I
daddy's
happen to
journal.
find like his ledger of the bandits that he pays to go rob
Oh.
people, I am taking those rings.
Okay.
If there's
You
not a
will-
receipt for those rings, they're mine. Sorry.
Proof of
What
purchase.
jeweler?
Yeah, suddenly the Darlington account shows up. He goes, "These are on the books. They're crime rings."
None of these have proof of purchase anymore because I sent them to Box Topper.
Okay. So Buttons and Glint in your workout attire, searching through the paperwork of the Duke's kind of like favorite go-to office, you find it's probably the most cluttered with paperwork. So, though you find a lot of reports and correspondence regarding other nations, this digs back many years. And so you would find several correspondence between, rather formal correspondences between the Duke of Solene and the former king of Mir again. They would confirm like a realliance of trade on specific imports and exports, detailing, you know, future meetings between the nations. So there would include, you can see that there is, though not like a friendly, a formal neutral alliance between the two nations in the Duke's study. And then you would see, you would find, you would find a letter. You would find a letter addressed. What's interesting is you'd find it addressed to all the leaders in attendance today, as well as the former king of Mirrigan, and it would be addressed by a merchant from a day, and it'd be dated about 15 years ago.
Mm.
And it would, the letter itself would, it would be inviting them to an event. But it was just, it stood out to you because it included Mirrigan. But then when you like look through it, you notice it's quite literally the eight of the 7 people in attendance and the 8th being Mirrigan.
I was half expecting the Rat King's letter.
Ed Sexington here.
You know what? I do like the tie-in. It would have gone to every leader. Yeah, let's say you recognize that paper because you handed it off to the messenger, though it is stacked in a place that clearly it wasn't like formally addressed. A letter requesting from the Rat King to relinquish all titles and lands to said Rat King is found in Duke Elric Darlington's study.
Up.
Yeah, it did get to
I
the Duke.
love that.
Good. I'm glad that was worth paying for.
Yeah, absolutely. It did get into his hands.
Hilarious.
Suppose this puts a damper on trade.
You said that the letter had 8? It went to 8 people?
Yeah, so it would have been, let's see. It would have been addressed to the former
King of
Mirrigan. Mayor. Well, yeah, it would be the king of Mirrigan. It would be Zarak, who 15 years ago was still the leader of Adaria. It would be addressed to Mr. Krumar, the dwarf, our Furbolg, our Aarakocra, our halfling, and to Elric Darlington, who was the Duke of Solene 15 years ago as well. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I get that right? I'm missing one. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I got 8. If I missed somebody, I think it's 8. It should be all 8. I counted this 8 times, at least. Yeah. Continue. I think I got it right.
How much time has passed since we came in?
Yeah. You're yeah, like I'd say 15 minutes with the rings and then digging through all these paper. Yeah.
I'd like to look for like any sort of like hidden space, like maybe a hidden cubby or something like that.
How would you look for that?
I'd probably focus mostly on the desk and the floor around it. And I don't know if there's like built-ins or anything like that. But basically looking at the woodwork, tapping it, trying to see if there's any unexpected play in how it's fit together, specifically focusing on details that may serve as kind of like a pull or a push.
That's good. Okay. Though you don't find a secret compartment, part of your searching is you do find the small section that would be like a very thin pull out on the center of the desk is locked. It's extremely small. It wouldn't hold anything particularly large, but like that very centerpiece in the desk is locked, which would be a very like a standard compartment, in no way hidden, but that would probably be the most secretive thing you'd spot.
Do any of the keys that Finn gave me kind of like look like they might fit?
The key, the like universal like master key is definitely for the door, like the doors of each room. This would definitely be a smaller key. It'd be almost like a luggage key in comparison of size and like use.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything that I think I could use to try to get in there. Yeah, okay. I think I mean, I could get in there by breaking it, but that would leave it broken. So I will not do that.
Buttons?
I don't think Buttons really has a useful skill for that. I was checking the door.
Yeah. You both would realize time's quickly approaching because Buttons would recognize a few similar like footsteps outside, which is clearly somebody working their way up and down the halls, like tracking down people. So time is running short as it's been like a second or third trip where that similar like set of footwear. It's clearly like a maid or someone's staff is coming in, like seeking each person in each of the wings. But no one approaches the study. The staff knows it to be locked. They know that they don't need to go in there to bother anybody. But you will hear next door, someone goes peeking into the fitness room, sees it's empty, quickly leaves, and heads back out. How does Glint and Buttons leave the office?
Back through the window.
Back through the window, through the fitness center.
The window on the wall.
Taking the rope back, closing the window to the office as we leave. Leaving no trace.
Leaving no trace. Okay. I know we just got over 2 hours and it's 11. Would we want to stop there? Do we want to keep going? Stop there? I've seen some head shakes. Stop there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pause there with, thank you, Wes, with maybe potentially some more searching. I'll let you guys discuss if you want to continue searching through the other studies. The favorite one was a distinction I liked. I think we spotted something interesting in there. Yeah, so talk amongst yourself of how we want to pick up. It is we could pick up right before or at the start of the human chess mass and the tea party outside, or if people want to do a little bit of that and a little bit of sleuthing or planning, that's totally cool too. Do we want to talk about favorite moments, or should I wrap up the video? I don't know. We haven't talked about if we want to include favorite moments on the video. We haven't done it yet since we moved it to just a recording.
6 of 1. If I had to have an opinion, we can do it after.
All right. Well, bye us. Thank you. Thanks for playing, guys.
Good night, us.
Good night, us.
Good night, us.